What's going on, everybody? KingofDragons 5000 here, coming at you with another figure review. Today we'll be having a look at the Storm Collectibles Mortal Kombat Raiden. So here we have Raiden posing out of the packaging. Before we take a look at the figure, let's actually run through his accessories really fast. Raiden does, of course, come with his signature straw hat, which does fit on all three of his heads. We do get three different faces with Raiden. We get a neutral expression. We do get a yelling expression. Then we get an expression where he is gritting his teeth. Raiden also comes with several sets of hands. We do get a pair of fists. We get a pair of flat-palmed hands. We get a pair of clinching hands. We get a pair of style pose hands. We get a pair of hands where he has two fingers pointed. And then we get a pair of hands with lightning coming out of the fingers. Then we also do get two lightning attachments for his clenching hands, which do look really nice. We get two lightning accessories that do wrap around his arms. And then finally he does come with a half an exploded head, which looks really nice. I do like the way this came out. Other than that, Raiden here doesn't come with anything else. I don't know what more you would want Raiden to come with. Maybe a stand just so you can get him to do the Superman. That's probably the one and only thing I think Raiden should have come with that he didn't. But overall, it comes with just enough accessories for you to be happy with this figure. So, with that out of the way, guys, let's actually move on to his details. And so here we have a closer look at Raiden. Now, I think Storm Collectibles has done a really good job with this figure. I know there's a lot of people that say that the face doesn't look like Raiden, but as you can see, it pretty much does look like Raiden. And I think the reason people say that is because in the package, his hat is kind of tilted back, so you see more of his face. And whenever you think of Raiden, you always picture him with a straw hat facing down, something like this. So you really don't really see his eyes too much. So I think that's what's really throwing a lot of people off. And if you don't like the straw hat on him, I don't know why you wouldn't. It does come off and it is a separate accessory. Now, what we have here is a really good face for Raiden. Although, if you really wanted to, you could actually use this for your other ninjas. Just having them without the face mask, I think this would look really nice. I think they did a really good job with the way the cowl comes over. The eyes are done in this really nice white. They're really stark contrast to the flesh, and then they did a really good job with the outline on them. So they did a really good job with Raiden's face here. Now, having a look at his gi here, this is actually the Mortal Kombat 2 Raiden. If you really wanted to, you can make the MK1 Raiden by pulling off his blue gi. Now, I would use caution when doing that because there are a lot of reports of this belt breaking when you try to mess with it. Thankfully, mine hasn't broken, and I have moved him around quite a bit. I'm counting my blessings that that doesn't snap until down the road. But if it does, I'll just replace it with a cloth fabric, so it's not a big deal. But if you are partial to having this the way it came out of the factory, again, caution is advised with this belt because it's very thin right here at the clasp. So looking over the gi, I know underneath this is a full set of martial arts gi. It looks really nice, but I don't want to risk breaking this just to show that off. Now, if you really wanted to, you can take this blue gi off. It does hinder some of his articulation because he has a mid-torso cut right here along the middle of his torso, then a ball joint here at the waist. So yeah, we do get this blue gi. It does cover up quite a bit, but it is fairly accurate to what he looked like in Mortal Kombat 2, so I really can't argue against the design. It does look really nice. And then we do have his Elder God's insignia right here on his arm. I don't know why an Elder God is participating in the Mortal Kombat tournament, but I don't know. It's just interesting to note that we do have that Elder God symbol. Really do like the white that they went with on Raiden. The banding right here looks really good. I do like it. Right now I do have him with the fist, and they do look good, although there are different hands that you can use on them. Depending on which ones you prefer, depends on the look you're going to have with them. Personally, I like the Sith Lightning hands. Those are probably my favorite out of the set. And then there's really not much to talk about his gi. There's a lot of nice detail on it, don't get me wrong. The folds on it are sculpted beautifully, and it looks really nice. I do like it, but it's kind of plain because it's just white. If it wasn't for the natural lighting and my hand coming to create some shadows, you really wouldn't see too much detail because it's just white. There is no added detail to the figure, which is a little bit it is a little bit of a shame that Storm Collectibles didn't add a little light gray wash here. They kind of did it right here on his wraps on his feet. You can see he does have like a gray band. And then we have some more gray right here at his ankle, but it's not consistent. As you can see, it's not as noticeable on this leg. If anything, it's only noticeable right here at the bottom of the wrap, and then right here on the soles of his feet. So overall, a little detail would have been nice if they had just done a little bit of an overspray just to highlight some of those details. But nonetheless, still looks really, really nice, and I do like Raiden here. So what we're going to do now is actually put his hat back on, and then we'll have a comparison between him and other figures you may have in your collection. Here we have Raiden posed next to a Marvel Legends, Cyclops, and a DC Multiverse Superman. Here we have Raiden posed next to a WWE Elite Scale figure and a Mezco 1/12 Collective Popeye the Sailor Man. Here we have Raiden posed next to a Lightning Collection White Ranger and a Star Wars Black Series Mandalorian. And finally, here we have the Storm Collectibles Raiden posed next to a Storm Collectibles Mortal Kombat Sub-Zero and a McFarlane Mortal Kombat Raiden. So with the comparisons out of the way, let's actually run through his articulation really fast. Raiden here does support the same articulation we've seen in all the Storm Collectible figures so far, which is a double ball joint here in the head, which is going from the top of the neck down to about right here. We do have the joint seated somewhere in the chest, and that does give us some really good range in the head. You can see he does look down really well, can look up, can tilt his head to the side, to the other side. Let's actually get his hat off, just so we can show that off. Really good range of motion there. Does turn left and right, no problem. And then moves pretty good on that ball joint. I'm not going to lie, that's a pretty good ball joint there. So we get all the head movement you would expect. His arms are on ball joints going into the torso, so they do pivot back. They do pivot forward quite a bit. They pivot up, pivot down. So we do get some really nice rotation there. They go out to the side. Better than horizontal, which I do like that. They do a full 360, which works really good. We do have a bicep swivel here, and it's really well hidden right here, especially under my lights. It's really hard to see the seam, but it does work pretty good. We do have double bend in the elbow, giving us close to 90 degrees, if not slightly better. It's not 100% perfect, but it'll do. Then we have ball hinges here at the wrist. As you can see, you can have them with a vertical or horizontal, depending on how you have that joint seated, and then it does rotate on that peg. Moving on to the torso, we do have a ball joint here up in the torso, which does move the figure forward and back, so that does work. But like I said, it is a little bit hindered by his blue gi right here, which I'm not a fan of how they did it. It's a soft rubber overlay on top of another soft rubber overlay, which I would have preferred it being one rubber overlay with, you know, all the sculpted detailing on it. I think the gi coming off is a nice touch, but it's not necessary. We do have a ball joint here down at the waist. As you can see, it does work fine. Moves left and right, goes back, goes forward, and in conjunction with both those joints, we do get some really nice movement there, although I don't want to tear this belt, so I'm not going to push it too far. Legs do kick forward. They only kick out to about there because we have so much rubber blocking it, and kicking back about the same. They do go out to the side all the way, so I do like that. We do have a thigh swivel up high, double bend at the knee, going up only to about slightly better than 90 degrees. No boot cut swivel, but we do have a forward-facing pin for rocker ankle, a hinge in the ankle which goes back and forward, and then we do have a toe hinge. So overall, Raiden here does sport all the articulation you'd expect from Storm Collectibles Mortal Kombat figures, so I really do like that. So with that out of the way, guys, let's actually get him posed for my final thoughts, and then we'll wrap up this review. And so finally, here we have the Storm Collectibles Raiden posed for my final thoughts. And overall, I think this Raiden is a fantastic figure. Although he does have some issues that we do need to address. For starters, that belt is very fragile. And thankfully, I haven't broken mine yet. Hopefully, it stays that way until I get the pictures done. But like I said, I can always replace it with a soft goods belt, but it's something you really don't have to do, so that I do have to knock Storm Collectibles for that. Another thing I've noticed is that the neck part of this figure does seem to chip paint very easy. I've already chipped a small area on mine. I'm going to have to hit that with some Mod Podge just to seal it up, but that is something to note, that if you are a little bit too crazy with that neck piece, you will start to flake the paint, which is never a good sign. But like I said, it is fixable. It's just something that we don't have to do as collectors, and we shouldn't have to do it. Other than that, I still think this is a really nice figure. The accessories on this Raiden work perfectly, and the fact that we get a new fatality head just makes it so much better. I love the way it looks on other figures, and hopefully I can show it off in pictures. So if you are looking for this Raiden, unfortunately he is sold out just about everywhere you look, and he is going for quite a bit. I don't know why Raiden was one of the more sought after figures, but he did turn out to be one of everybody's grail figures, so finding Raiden for a decent price is kind of tricky. Thankfully I was able to get mine off Big Bad Toy Store for $70, which is pretty much what you would pay if you had ordered him originally. I know when they did come in stock, Big Bad Toy Store did start charging $80 and then eventually $90 for Raiden. So if you missed out on Raiden, you do have to go through secondhand market for him, which is unfortunate, but he is such a really nice figure and a really good figure to own in your Mortal Kombat display. With that being said, guys, I'm KingofDragons 5000. Don't forget to like this video, leave a comment, subscribe to my channel. Go check out all my other action figure reviews, as well as all my other Mortal Kombat and Storm collectible videos. Hopefully you find them informative. As always, if there's a figure you would like to see me review, let me know down in the comments, and if it's in my collection, I'll definitely have a look at it. While you're at it, check out my Instagram account for new and exciting action figure photos, and as always, ring that bell to be notified every time I upload a video. Until next time, guys, I'll see you later. Take care, everyone.